What's up everybody, this is Danny and I'm in Mexico this week testing out the brand new OPPO Find X9 Pro, and I've partnered with OPPO to show you what this beast camera can do versus the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I've taken over 1,500 pictures and videos since I've been here in Mexico. I can't wait to show them to you. We don't have any time to waste. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we get into the camera, let's start with the unboxing and what's new with the OPPO Find X9 Pro. This does come in two colors, silk white and titanium charcoal, so let me know which one that you like better. Not a whole lot comes in this box. This one comes with a cable, but no charging brick here, safety guide, quick start guide, and a SIM removal tool, so simple unboxing like we've seen on other smartphones before. The design is actually what you would expect from OPPO, super clean and minimal, feels very premium when you're using it. The display is super bright at 3600 nits peak brightness. I had zero issues using this with the bright sunlight here in Mexico. Super thin symmetrical bezels, 2160Hz PWM dimming, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. This 6.78-inch 120Hz display is top notch. The Find X9 Pro is powered by the new and very powerful MediaTek Dimensity 9500. Mine is paired with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage, but you can get more if you want. The processor is up to 32% faster on the CPU, 33% faster on the GPU, and up to 111% faster on the NPU, all while being more efficient. And this new chipset is paired with a whopping 7,500 mAh 3rd generation OPPO silicon carbon battery. And I am not kidding you, you cannot kill this battery in a single day, no matter how much you use it. This is easily a 2-day battery for casual users, and this is no thicker than any other popular flagship out there, which is wild. Plus, it has vapor chamber cooling, so this is great for gaming. So the OPPO Find X9 Pro is a balanced flagship in every aspect, including IP66, IP68, and IP69 water resistance, so the hardware is A+. A few more things about the hardware that are worth mentioning is there's a snap key on the side, which is familiar. It is a hotkey that you can set up with popular quick functions, as you can see here. And you also have a quick button here on the side, which you can use as a shutter button, or you can use it to zoom while holding it in landscape orientation. But to be honest, I really don't use this button on any smartphone, but it's nice to have that choice if you want it. So let's jump into my favorite part, the camera. You get a new 50 megapixel main sensor, a 50 megapixel ultra wide, and a 200 megapixel 3x periscope telephoto lens, which I believe is OPPO's first 200 megapixel sensor, so that is exciting. And if you pair it up with this optional Hasselblad teleconverter lens kit, it will leverage that 200 megapixel sensor and take your photography and videography experience to the next level, which I'll show you some results from later on. I think the biggest change to the everyday photography is how all of these cameras can capture 50 megapixels by default. You can turn it on and off if you want in the settings right here, but I thought that was neat. You will see the 8K clarity designation on the photo when looking back at it if it captures in 50 megapixels. The good thing is that the camera dynamically changes depending on the lighting, so if it's more beneficial to save in a more optimized 25 megapixels or 12 megapixels, especially in low light, it can do that. So I didn't have to worry about it. I just hit the shutter button and let the Find X9 Pro figure it out. So we started our Mexico journey in Mexico City. We were here to check out the Day of the Dead celebrations, but one of the first things we had to do is get some tacos, and they did not disappoint. I loved the trio and enjoyed all three of them, but the next morning we went to the largest library in Mexico, and I took the iPhone 17 Pro Max that day to show you how the OPPO Find X9 Pro camera compares to it. And I have to say, this was absolutely mind-blowing to see this place in person. So many books all around, and the semi-transparent design of this library is so unique. I thought this was a great way for me to test out the zoom and test the colors as well, but I had to be careful not to take any more pictures of people's butts like I did here. I tested the ultra wide to show you the scale of this place. It's absolutely massive. If you punch in and look at the edge to edge clarity, you can see that the OPPO did a better job in this scenario. I took a lot of portrait mode shots in the library because the lighting was so nice in here. The iPhone is balancing the entire photo and suppressing the highlights and picking up a lot of green and yellow from the environment, where the OPPO is letting some of those highlights clip for an overall brighter result. So let me know which one that you like better. You can see the same result from the portrait selfie as well, so I think this is going to come down to personal preference, but I like the overall skin tone better on the OPPO in this scenario. These two smartphones definitely take a different approach when it comes to portrait photos. This is a hard one for smartphones since the background is so bright, but the OPPO brings out more of the color and sharpness on the subject. Here's an example of the 3x versus the 4x telephoto so you can see how different it is without portrait mode. But the OPPO Find X9 Pro also has a 6x option right here in the camera app so you can zoom in a little bit more without much clarity loss. Next we went to the historic center of Mexico City where I kept testing the 3x versus the 4x telephoto on the iPhone and the OPPO. Sometimes the OPPO does go heavy with the contrast, but it does give it that dramatic look, so let me know if you like that extra contrast or not. But I had a lot of fun taking these photos on incredible architecture. Mexico City really exceeded my expectations, especially when we went into the Postal Palace of Mexico City. What a beautiful building inside. This gave me a chance to test out the high resolution capture of these two phones. The iPhone shoots 48 megapixels, so I matched that with the 50 megapixel capture of the OPPO Find X9 Pro. The details in this building are striking, so when you punch in you can see both of these cameras did a great job. While I took a bunch of photos like this in here, this is when I wanted to test the teleconverter lens kit. This is the optional accessory kit that turns the Find X9 Pro into an incredible tool for portraits, and I was so far away, but look at the results of these photos. Natural background blur with more of a mirrorless camera look to it. It is naturally less sharpened because there is some distance from that 200 megapixel periscope lens, and you get an option of 10x, 20x, and 40x, but I think the 10x gives the best results in my testing. So if you are a mobile photography nerd like I am, you're definitely going to want this, and when you use this for video, it really takes it up a notch. The cinematic look from this focal length is incredible. I literally spent hours just getting footage because it looks so good. Just add some black bars on the top and bottom, and this doesn't even look like it came out of a smartphone camera. If you have a sling bag or backpack with you, this is easy to put on and take off, so I highly recommend you grabbing this if you can take advantage of this lens kit. The main square in central Mexico City was also worth visiting. It was a perfect place for me to take photos and really enjoy my time there, so we took a selfie and we moved on to the next area. I thought this was the perfect time for me to test the 4K video. This area was really packed, but it was great to check out the stabilization on both. I think they both look solid, so let me know if you can tell a difference or not. OPPO has come a long way when it comes to video. We got a chance to check out the cultural center before heading out to dinner, and the ceiling in here is incredible, so I had to get this picture. Both high resolution ultra wide captures, but I couldn't wait to test the low light because that's where I feel like smartphone cameras separate themselves. Here is a walking example of the 4K video quality when walking into the restaurant. Here is another walking stabilization test going into the restaurant. I'm walking really fast here. It might not look like it, but they are both doing really well. The dinner was delicious, very interesting shrimp dish that I've never seen before, but I had to step outside to test the low light. This is a shot using night mode, so you can see the different approaches of both cameras. The OPPO is much brighter even with the same 2-second exposure time on the ultra wide. Nick Gray helped me out with being the model here. That is low light with the main sensor. Next is shot with the 2x, which looks very similar in color and tone, and the 4x is where you can see the iPhone start to get noisy, where the 3x on the OPPO looks sharper and more detailed. You can really see it on the portrait mode as well. The OPPO looks really clean on the 3x portrait mode, where the 4x on the iPhone looks softer. You can see it here on Nick again too, so it's the same result versus the iPhone's 4 times, so I hope Apple makes it easier to activate the night mode on this telephoto lens. There were yellow lights outside illuminating the trees, so OPPO's color sensor was doing its job here since it's more accurate. I was actually able to get a shot of the moon with the iPhone since it has 40x zoom. I just brought down the exposure and it didn't look bad at all, but it was so easy on the OPPO, and you can go up to 120x zoom if you want to as well. What you're seeing here is a night mode shot of Mexico City that night out of my hotel window, and they both look really good. The city looks so good lit up like this, and I was sad that we were leaving Mexico City already, but the night ended with a 10x zoom shot of this interesting building. So what do you think? Which phone did better today, the iPhone 17 Pro Max or the OPPO Find X9 Pro? We did cram in one more lunch at this really popular spot in Mexico City before we had to jump on a commuter flight where in just an hour we were in Guanajuato. This is the place that inspired the landscape for the movie Coco and its colorful buildings, and it's absolutely beautiful. On this day, it was all about comparing OPPO's new camera to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra because I know a lot of you will be interested to see how it stacks up. Here is a walking stabilization test of us walking into town, and you can see all those colorful buildings in the background, so let me know which phone that you think looked better here. This also gave me a chance to test out the 4K log video, and you can see just how great it looks with tons of dynamic range, so this is the way to shoot cinematic cinematic video if you go to pick up this OPPO. It looks really good. Here is a picture of the colorful houses on the hill. This is a 12 megapixel photo from each camera. Punching in, you can see more detail on the homes and the trees, and it's clearer all around on the Find X9 Pro. This landscape made me want to test the high resolution capture of both these phones. They both have 200 megapixel sensors, but Samsung has it on their main camera versus OPPO having it on the telephoto camera. So 200 megapixel captures from the OPPO will be more punched in like this in terms of focal length, so keep that in mind. Inspecting further in, you can see just how detailed both of these are, but the OPPO's outcome looks slightly less processed. If you're wondering what the 50 megapixel output on the ultra wide looks like, here you go. More contrasty look on the Samsung, so let me know which one that you like better. As I got closer up, I thought that this was a great photo to take because of all the detail on the building and door. Once you punch in, you can take a look at the door. So much more detail on the Find X9 Pro. You can really see that texture on the door, so that is impressive. Tommy, aka Gadgets Boy, over here posing for the portrait mode photo, looking cool as usual, and Nick Gray looking smooth here to show you the difference between the two when it comes to portrait mode processing. I took a lot of these because I thought people would be more interested in what photos look like of people, and they both did not disappoint. OPPO does process with a brighter skin tone, so let me know if you like that better or worse than the more balanced approach of the S25 Ultra. I did find something very interesting about the way that the portrait mode is processed on both these phones. Take a look at this portrait mode photo here. Both look really great, but if you inspect the way that the background is cut out, you see a huge difference. The Samsung almost removes all of the strands of hair that are rogue to give you an almost edited look, where the OPPO catches all of the individual hairs and keeps them in for an authentic look, which really impressed me. Look over here, down to the strands of hair. That is absolutely insane, so kudos to OPPO. For the next few days, we just explored Guanajuato and just took so many photos. Like I said before, I couldn't believe just how charming and beautiful the city was. These churros, by the way, were absolutely tasty, and I'm missing them already. Michael Josh was like a little celebrity here with everyone taking photos, so I thought I would jump in to get a zoom test. They both have 3x telephoto, so I think they compare best when it comes to flexibility. There is the 5x versus the 6x telephoto, very similar in output, and then I put them both to 10x just to see how it compares. So if you're wondering, there you go. If you want to see an extreme zoom test, then let's do it. Look at how far away I was from the subject. This is the main to show you where I was going. 2x on both. I think you can see where I'm going with this. 3x and we're getting closer. And there is the 5x versus 6x looking great, and then 10x on both for a more practical zoom option. But here is the maximum. 100x on the S25 Ultra and 120x on the OPPO. Absolutely crazy that you can have this in your pocket. The next night is where it got interesting because I wanted to test the low light again. I think this is where it separates smartphone cameras. The face paint, the clothing was so incredible to witness in person. This was such a cool experience. Here is a picture of that subject, and you can see that dedicated color sensor at work bringing out the white of the flag and separating the white face paint versus the overall blue and purple cast that was in the environment. This is a main sensor portrait, so you can see all of the details of the clothing and the hat. It was absolutely stunning. Here is the 5x portrait on the Samsung versus the 3x portrait on the OPPO. They both look fantastic here. So night mode is looking great here so far between the two cameras. It was cool to see that the police were even taking part of the festivities and were kind enough to let us take pictures of them. OPPO did have the more natural approach since the environment was very warm and the lighting wasn't great. So let me know which one that you like better in the comment section below. We were able to revisit this area, so I wanted to see how it looked at night. If you punch in, there is definitely a noticeable difference in noise when you look at the sky. The underground area looks so cool at night, and the place was packed. You can see just how they built this city up higher and higher because this used to be a riverbed. It kept flooding, so they just kept building higher, and now traffic flows through this area. I thought this was a great opportunity to test the front-facing camera at night. The OPPO is definitely more colorful when it comes to skin tones, but the clarity is where I see the major difference in this one. When night mode is turned on though, it really improves Samsung's output. But if you want to see a few daytime samples of the front-facing camera, here you go. I think OPPO has come a long way when it comes to the front-facing camera quality, so I'm glad that they are improving these with every phone release. I was able to get some more portrait mode shots. I think the main camera is going to come down to personal preference. When using the 3x lens for portrait mode at night, I was surprised to see Samsung so noisy. Not sure if this is just a bug or not, but I took multiple photos photos and the results were the same. Here it is punched in so you can see the difference. So let me know what you think about that. But that 5x lens on the Samsung does look great when it hits, but we will save that comparison for OPPO's Ultra whenever that gets released. That really has me excited. I have so many more videos and photos to show you, so if you want a more in-depth comparison and if you want to see other smartphones compared with OPPO's new flagship, let me know which ones in the comment section below. I think if you look at this video, you can see that the Find X9 Pro competes very well with the best flagships out on the market today, and it's paired with that 7,500 mAh battery that you cannot kill in a day, which makes this phone a photography powerhouse plus an endurance beast that you can really rely on. Make sure that you check the description down below for more info and availability in your region, because I think this is a phone that you need to check out if you're in the market for a smartphone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the OPPO Find X9 Pro and how did it do versus the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Let me know what camera that you like better in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mexico is beautiful. Can't wait to come back. Peace.